Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol KRFG. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So all this here may look like several days worth of time. It's actually today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame that does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. I will say that from a presentation standpoint, this chart is actually much trickier to talk about. Why do I say that? Well, because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought somewhere up around there and your plan was I want to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yeah, from that point of view, the chart's looking pretty rough. Now, if you care about the big picture of things, I get it. From the highs, there has been a decent-sized pullback. But from the grand scheme of it all, the price does still have the opportunity to build a higher low. And as long as higher lows are being built over longer periods of time, that's how long-term uptrends are constructed. I am going to be talking about things from the big picture perspective. So if I sound crazy calling something bullish, my guess would be you probably had more of a day trader or flipper type mentality and plan going into the trade. And while I'm not saying this is what's going to occur, actually, let me just do a little house cleaning here and get rid of that line. Now we'll leave that resistance up there at 0058. That's just not really the main talking point, but I am going to get rid of that. Now, once again, I'm not saying this is what's going to occur, but I'm trying to prove an overall point here. But let's say that the price keeps on pulling back. And in fact, it goes all the way down here to this green line that I talked about on Thursday at 003, then begins to behave like that before starting to work its way back upwards. Now, emphasis on big picture. From the big picture perspective, what would you still have after, what would be a pretty deep pullback? Well, you'd still have a set of lows right there. You'd have a low right there. You'd have these lows down here before the price woke up. And if you envision each one of those as kind of some bootleg stair steps, what do you have? Well, from the big picture perspective, you would still very clearly have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. And that assumes that it even goes down to 003. Like I said, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur. My point is that there's still plenty of wiggle room for the price to build an overall higher base and continue on with the uptrend. Once again, I'm well aware. If you're some sort of day trader flipper and you bought up there, then yeah, you don't care about these stair steps. But that's why I try to offer up a warning that I would be commenting from the grand scheme of things perspective. So sure, the price pulled back today, but stop and think about that word, today, as in 1 day. Looking at multiple days, which is what we're doing here, you can see the price does still have an opportunity to build a higher low. So let's see if the bulls can get that job done or not.
One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.